Let's count down the 15 unforgettable rock songs from 1971 that redefined cool, shook radio waves, and carved their names into music legend. And wait till you see what closes the list. It ended with a scream that still echoes through history.
Wake up, Maggie, I think I got something to say. I said the way you move don't make it. Everywhere is freaks and Harris.
Number 15, One Toke Over the Line by Brewer and Shipley.
One toke over the line, sweet Jesus, one toke over the line.
The counterculture got its anthem with a wink. When One Toke Over the Line hit the airwaves, it was like lighting a match in a room soaked with incense and revolution, a seemingly mellow folk rock tune. But listen closer, this was a coded rebellion.
Railway station, one toke over the line.
A sly nod to stoner culture, yes, but also a snapshot of a generation teetering between idealism and burnout. Even the FCC raised eyebrows, and the controversy only amplified its echo across college campuses. You didn't just hear this one, you felt like you were in on something secret. And if you think that was subversive, just wait till we hit a protest anthem dressed up as a love song.
One toke over the line, sweet Jesus.
Number 14, I'd Love to Change the World by 10 Years After.
Everywhere is freaks and Harris.
A cry for sanity in a world on fire. It starts like a whisper, but hits like a hammer. 10 Years After delivered a track that felt like a transmission from the front lines of a fractured world. War, poverty, pollution. Every verse poured gasoline on society's rawest wounds, then lit it up with Alvin Lee's blistering guitar solo. Its idealism colliding with cynicism.
No pollution, no solution.
And somehow surviving. And that tension, that's what made it unforgettable, because even if you didn't live it, you know what it feels like to want to scream, I'd love to change the world. Coming up, a song that turned a shadow into sunlight and heartbreak into poetry. Number 13, Moonshadow by Cat Stevens.
Moonshadow, moonshadow, and if I ever lose my hands,
When darkness follows you, but so does beauty. Cat Stevens didn't need distortion pedals or pyrotechnics to make a song unforgettable. Just an acoustic guitar, a voice full of hope, and lyrics that turn loss into light. Moonshadow wasn't just folk rock, it was spiritual alchemy.
and if I ever lose my legs, I won't home.
A metaphorical masterpiece that made even the worst outcomes feel like blessings in disguise. If you ever felt like life took something from you, this track gently reminded you that maybe, just maybe, it gave you something too. But don't get too comfortable, because the next one hits like a speeding train, literally.
Shadow, moon shadow, moon shadow.
Number 12, Locomotive Breath by Jethro Tull.
But your new shoes wanted the heels and your
A runaway train of existential dread. But this wasn't just a song. It was a full-throttle descent into chaos, steamrolled by Ian Anderson's snarling vocals and thunderous flute. Locomotive Breath captured the feeling of a man watching his life
when he catches angels as they fall.
spiral out of control, set against a bluesy rhythm that felt like steel on cold rails. It's frantic, it's poetic, and it's pure Jethro Tull madness. The man crafted a rock opera under 5 minutes, and it still leaves you breathless. And if this one had you clinging to the rails, the next track will push you straight into the deep end of alienation and grit.
No way to slow down.
Number 11, Aqualung by Jethro Tull.
Like drying in the cold sun.
Filthy, raw, undeniably human. Few songs dared to look at poverty in the eyes and stare it down. Aqualung was a portrait of a man society tried to forget, drawn with jagged riffs and unflinching lyrics. Ian Anderson turned urban decay into sonic art, giving voice to the voiceless with each anguished chord. It's not just provocative, it's deeply uncomfortable, and that's the point. You don't walk away from Aqualung unchanged. But just when you think we're staying gritty, here comes a beast that growls and grooves in equal measure. Number 10, Black Dog by Led Zeppelin. A riff that snarled and never let go. That opening lick, pure lightning, Black Dog, marked Led Zeppelin's return to form, laying down a groove so thick you couldn't cut through it if you tried. Robert Plant's banjee wails, the stop-start rhythm, John Bonham's hypnotic drumming. It was primal, sexy, dangerous. Zeppelin didn't just play rock, they possessed it. And in '71, this song possessed everyone. Get ready, because next we trade swagger for sadness in a song that tore up the charts and broke 1 million hearts. Number 9, Maggie May by Rod Stewart.
Wake up, Maggie, I think I got something to say.
The heartbreak that made a raspy voice immortal. Rod Stewart's Maggie May wasn't just a hit, it was the hit that made him a household name. A raw, confessional tale of a young man seduced and abandoned, delivered with gravel-throated vulnerability. It wasn't flashy, it didn't need to be.
You led me away from home, 'cause you didn't want to be alone.
That mandolin outro, pure melancholy magic. You could feel every ounce of confusion, desire, and regret wrapped in Stewart's voice, like it was your own. It wasn't just about Maggie, it was about every bittersweet goodbye you never wanted to say. And just when you're wiping away the tears, the next track belts out freedom with a southern twang and a defiant grin. Number 8, Me and Bobby McGee by Janis Joplin.
Good enough for me and my Bobby again.
Freedom never sounded so broken or beautiful. Janis Joplin didn't just sing the song, she lived it, recorded just days before her death. Me and Bobby McGee became her swan song, a bittersweet hymn to fleeting love and lost chances. Chris Christopherson wrote it, but Janis baptized it with soul.
I let him slip away. He's looking for that home, and I hope he finds it.
The final chorus, it's not a note, it's a release, a scream, a sob, a celebration all at once. If you've ever driven down a highway chasing something you couldn't hold, this song was your rearview mirror. And from one powerhouse voice to another. Next up, a ballad that turned rage into revelation.
To be holding Bobby's body next to mine.
Number 7, Behind Blue Eyes by The Who.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man.
A villain's prayer whispered through the void. Most rock anthems shout. This one pleaded. Behind Blue Eyes cracked open the soul of someone misunderstood. Someone's dangerous, someone's alone. Roger Daltrey delivered it like a confession too painful to say out loud.
Cool when I smile, tell me some bad news before I laugh and act like a...
And then the second half hit, with drums like thunder and a guitar break that still shatters silence. It's vulnerability and vengeance, stitched into one unforgettable arc. The Who didn't just break the mold, they held a mirror to the darker corners of our hearts. But the next one, The Who weren't whispering anymore, they exploded.
Be the sad man behind blue eyes.
Number 6, Baba O'Reilly by The Who. Teenage Wasteland, eternal soundtrack. The synth that opens Baba O'Reilly feels like stepping into a digital dream. Futuristic, hypnotic, untouchable. Then Daltrey's voice slices through, defiant, then soaring, backed by a band on the brink of transcendence. It wasn't just a song, it was a statement, a youth anthem cloaked in philosophical chaos. Pete Townsend fused minimalism, rebellion, and rock into something utterly unique. And when that violin outro comes charging in, it's spiritual, it's cinematic, it's unforgettable. But from digital dreams we crash land into a song that painted America's story, one verse at a time. Number 5, American Pie by Don McLean.
So bye, bye, Miss American Pie. Drove my Chevy to the levee, but the levee was dry.
A eulogy to innocence and a roadmap to our past. 8.5 minutes felt like a lifetime. American Pie wasn't just long, it was loaded. Every lyric, every metaphor dripped with nostalgia and cryptic references. From Buddy Holly's death to the Stones' dark era, Don McLean wove a tapestry of American pop culture with a poet's touch and a preacher's soul.
This'll be the day that I die.
It was folk, it was rock, it was a time capsule, and it was everywhere. If you were alive in 71, you didn't just hear it, you lived inside it. And if this song remembered the day the music died, the next one dared to imagine a world where it never had to.
They were singing what you say, bye, bye, Miss American Pie.
Number 4, Imagine by John Lennon.
Imagine there's no country.
A whisper that became a global chorus. John Lennon sat at a white piano and reimagined the world. No borders, no war, no possessions, just peace. Imagine wasn't naive, it was radical. In a time of conflict and division, Lennon's vision was revolutionary in its softness. That opening chord progression, like morning light on cold glass. And the lyrics floated out. They challenged every belief, yet somehow soothed the soul.
Living life in peace.
It was a protest in a lullaby, and it changed the world not with force, but with hope. But if Imagine invited us to dream, the next one came crashing through the gates with swagger and sin.
Sharing all the world.
Number 3, Brown Sugar by the Rolling Stones. A riff so dirty, it stuck to your soul. Brown Sugar, it didn't just push boundaries, it kicked them down with a smirk. From the moment Keith Richards' opening riff rips through the speakers, you're hooked. It's raunchy, rebellious, and completely unapologetic. Mick Jagger's vocals dance somewhere between charm and chaos, dripping with swagger that only the Stones could pull off. It wasn't polite, it wasn't subtle, but it was iconic. And in 1971, no dance floor, dive bar, or dorm room was safe from its grip. But as gritty as this groove was, the next song, it took you somewhere higher. Number 2, Stairway to Heaven by Led Zeppelin.
Your head is humming out, it won't go in case you don't know. The piper's calling you to join him.
8 minutes of sonic mythology. It begins with a whisper, a gentle acoustic shimmer, that slowly evolves into rock's most epic crescendo. Stairway to Heaven wasn't just a song, it was a journey.
In my thoughts I have seen rings of smoke through the trees, and the voices of those who stand looking.
Page's guitar solo, practically a religious experience. Plant's voice, prophetic. And the lyrics, they read like sacred scripture for every teenager, scribbling meaning into the margins of life. Zeppelin didn't just write a hit, they built a monument. And every time it plays, it invites you to climb with them. But you thought this was powerful? What if the most unforgettable moment of '71 wasn't soft or subtle, but a scream that shattered time?
And she's buying a stairway.
Number 1, Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who.
We don't get fooled again.
The revolution, the betrayal, the roar. This was the sound of awakening. Won't Get Fooled Again was rebellion with receipts, a thunderous, teeth-baring masterpiece that roared through the speakers with righteous fury, from the synth's build-up to Moon's explosive drums to Daltrey's legendary scream. It was catharsis in purest form, the promise that we'd be smarter this time, stronger, wiser, but also maybe just as lost. It was The Who at their fiercest, refusing to be anyone's puppet.
Myself and my family aside, if we happen to be lucky for life.
And in 1971, it wasn't just a song, it was a warning we're still trying to live up to. If you made it this far, you're officially part of the rock and roll resistance. Like what you heard? Hit the like button and subscribe. If you felt any of these songs in your chest, there's more where that came from. Which of these tracks hit you the hardest? The scream, the riff, or the melody that wouldn't let go? Let us know in the comments below. And if this countdown stirred something in you, you need to go back and check out our deep dive on the most iconic rock moments of 1969. It's where the fire really started. The legends you just heard, they were sharpening their blades back then. Hendrix, Zeppelin, the Stones, it all builds to this. Click that in-screen card right now and witness the birth of the sound that made 1971 unforgettable. Because now you remember the songs we'll never forget. But to truly understand them, you've got to know what came before. Stay loud, stay curious, and never stop climbing that stairway.